All right, we're back.
There you go.
And we'll just start where we were. So I think when you have an injury or something like that happen, right?
Mhm.
Not on the woo-woo side of it, but afterwards, when a thing happens, I think it's a opportunity for you to lean into shit that you don't normally do. And it's not just injuries, everything. Um, and it's something and maybe I'm buying my own bullshit, right? Because I have to do that right now, and
Yeah.
and that's why I'm saying to you, but, you know, I think it's just you have to learn a different mode, and I think sometimes those modes are the ones that pay off later. That's all.
No,
You know?
it's already like I had to switch the mode up so much, but then with the body pain that was consistent, I couldn't even enjoy anything. That's all it was. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
one of those things. I went down to 0. I'm like, okay, because like I'm not even in shape or anything anymore right now. I'm
Mhm.
like, let me just get the pain out of the way and then add a little bit back into it. Like I want to do squash or badminton. I'd like to play basketball or something else, but pick and choose my battles and just find new ways to be athletic and explosive slowly, kind of thing, right? But
Yeah,
the one thing before we hopped on, uh, maybe it's the career, maybe it's just personality type as well. Um, I just don't enjoy that. I can't in case something does happen in front of me, I can't go and assist. I don't have to be the
yeah.
all-star, but I can't go and assist. That's what
No,
yeah.
I definitely understand that. That's how I feel about most things in life. It's like, I wanna be able to put myself in position to be of service and of use.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a good way to put it. Be of service,
yeah,
yes. I agree with
yeah.
that.
I completely get it. Yeah, I understand that. Here's something because we're talking about pain. These are the 3 beliefs of pain, and a long time ago, I heard this, and it says these are the 3 beliefs about pain, and this is you're supposed to challenge them, and so, belief number 1 is, "I can't stand this." 2, "This is never going to end," and 3, "It's only gonna get worse." Your job, challenge those beliefs. So, "This is never going to end, and it's only gonna get worse." And I think that goes for mental anguish and pain and, mental health as well, right?
Yeah, that's definitely, a negative feedback loop for sure.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
think it's the one that most people get into, right? Like, you get into it, and it's usually like, "Oh, man, I can't stand this shit. It's never gonna end." And then you
And then
go,
you tap out completely, you don't come back, right?
"Yeah, yeah, yeah," or
Yeah.
you just go, "It's only gonna get worse," which goes back to something we talked about a couple weeks ago, which is the pain and suffering, right? You can be in pain or you can be in suffering, and suffering is down there, you know? So but I was curious, man, because like I said, I'd never been injured like that before. So I was just wondering like what your thoughts were now, or better yet, what are your thoughts on moving forward?
Honestly, when it happened, I was more annoyed than anything, and like you said, you haven't been injured to have a surgery, like, at all, and I this is my first real surgery, and I've done a lot of stupid shit, so the fact
Yeah.
that it happened because it wasn't something serious or something super eventful is kind of funny to me, to be very honest. At my own expense, I think it's hilarious because it could have happened there's so many things that could have happened, like, at work that I've done where I'm like, "This should have happened then." Or something else worse should have happened way back, and then it's just lifting a dryer. Snap.
Yeah.
So,
I get it.
I
I
don't have
mean,
any, like I don't have any I guess, like, some people will beat themselves I literally I do think it's funny. I really do.
yeah.
So
I get like that after I figure out how, because I'm the same way. Every injury I've ever had has not come in the moment of doing something stupid or ridiculous or crazy.
mhm.
It's always so like when I herniated my disc, whatever it was, 2 months ago, a month ago, whatever, um, I woke up. I woke up and rolled out of bed.
Yeah.
And so I was angry about it for like, I don't know, half a day, but I don't know if I wasn't angry about the injury. I was angry about how.
You're angry the story's not cool.
No, it wasn't even that. It was just like I was like, "Did I get beaten tonight? Like, did
Yeah,
somebody beat me
yeah,
up? Did the kids beat me up?" Or
yeah.
like, and that was I'm very much interested in, like, when something happens, how or why, and once I figure out the how or why, I'm able to move on, and I move on quick. Like, I'm like, "Oh, I hurt myself doing this." I'm like, "Oh, cool. That's, no big deal." Now, don't get me wrong. I always enjoy a cool story, so if I'm gonna go out on my shield, I would rather that than
But you know what? The best thing that now that you're a writer and you're doing that more as well, because I've done blog posts forever and I enjoy just chatting with people. Now you get to turn a stupid event into an event.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that makes it that's just the comedic side of it, right? You're still
Yeah,
pitching something hilarious, right? So,
yeah.
um, and I think there's for some when this happened, I was talking to Sean and a few other people. I'm like, because some people when something like this happened, they just beat themselves up completely.
Mhm.
And I think just making light of it shows that even to like some friends that we have that are like, it's not that big a deal. Like the next day is gonna come. You're gonna still have to do what you have to do. You're not gonna just like stop going to work or stop paying your bills, and you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's a very small thing if you think about it.
Yeah, I think some people though, I think their problems are so small that their problems are that big.
Yeah, like
You know what
your
I mean?
friend that you explained. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, like, you know, we don't have real problems to focus on, and so the problems you have, they feel like mountains, or you've just never dealt with adversity, and I do think some types of adversity for certain types of people, like, I can sit up here and say, like, I know I would handle it well, but it would take me some time. It wouldn't take me a lot of time, but I wouldn't have been as resilient as you were. It
Mhm.
would have I would have been pissed for about an hour.
So I was with
I'd
my
have
mom, and and I showed her about something like, "This doesn't look right. Like, I think we have to go to the emergency room." And I got her to drive because I'm like, I could drive at that point because my arm wasn't completely numb at that point, and I just let her drive there. I was obviously annoyed it happened, but afterwards, I'm like, "Can we get ice cream?" That's all I
yeah,
was
yeah,
like,
yeah,
"Can we get ice
yeah,
cream?" And we got McDonald's or whatever, or not, no, we got Burger King, and,
yeah.
yeah, so that's what it was basically. Kept it very simple and, like, because overall, out of even growing up on the farm, I'm like, the stuff we've done on the farm, there's so many injuries I should have had there as well. Just thinking
Yeah,
about it.
yeah. I think about that a lot, like how lucky I've been. Well, in general, like I was thinking about this a few days ago because I've had a string of unfortunate events happen. None are terrible, right? None are terrible, but a buddy of mine we were talking, he goes, "You're the luckiest unlucky guy who doesn't believe in luck I've ever met." And I was like,
You
I
wanna
couldn't
go
ag
to the
yeah.
string of events you wanna share just so it can laugh a little bit or no?
I can't share most of them, but what I
Okay,
will say is,
okay,
what I'll say is, I'll end up talking about it when it's done. It's a court thing.
okay, gotcha.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But what I will say is, all of the things that happen, they're minuscule and minor, right? But for a lot of people that have freaked them out, would have pissed them off, and all this other shit. But for me, I just was like, huh, this is the down for the ups.
Yeah.
Right. I just was like, fuck, man. Like, this is like, I was telling somebody recently, I was like, my life is objectively cool, especially for a dude who's, I'm not a millionaire. I don't have access to all the things, but I think most people would be pretty stoked to live my life, minus the time that I spend in that building. And even then sometimes, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
anyway, um, but with that being said, I think sometimes the cost is the other stuff, right? Like it is the things that are like, oh, this is unlucky. Or whatever it may or may not be. It's yin and yang in my opinion, right? Like you got to have
You
ups
know,
and downs.
this is like we talked about before, the bad stuff that happened, if it leads to something awesome, the bad stuff kinda had to happen,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I was thinking about it, and I was like, um in my head, I was just having fun because I knew we were hopping on the call tonight, so I was like, "Alright, so you know what? If I didn't, have that book idea, I wouldn't be on this podcast right now." If I
Yeah.
didn't hop on that random call where so the Kick Today in the Dick mug that,
Mhm.
Matt has, my
Yeah.
friend I posted about it before I was even part of the group, my friend liked the mug. I'm like, "I wonder if he still sells the mug." So I clicked a few things, and without not realizing, I signed up for something, and I was talking to Matt. I did not know what I was doing. So, if I didn't do that, I wouldn't be on this podcast right now. If I
Yeah.
didn't if I didn't get arrested, I wouldn't be on this podcast right now. I wouldn't have
Yeah.
met you.
Yeah.
You know what I
Dude,
mean?
I think about
So,
that all the time. So
if you can go
the
back and think of very random things, like something that's stupid. You're like, if I didn't do that stupid thing, I wouldn't be here right now.
yeah.
And it makes it
What
very lighthearted for me.
I I think about it too. I think about it in the same sense, but not necessarily as lighthearted. But I think about it. I call it the anatomy of the moment, or like the recipe or the timeline of a moment. But I
Mhm.
think about it like when I have a grand moment, and I'm like, how the fuck did I get here? Right? Like my first hunting trip to Hawaii. I'm like, how did I get here? I mean, not Hawaii, but to Australia.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I'm standing on top of this ridge, and I'm looking out. It's the last day of the hunt, and I'm looking out, and it's a gorgeous day, man. It's got reds and pinks and just whatever, and the skyline's just bang. It's just like a painting, and I'm standing there, and Nick, the guide, he's just like, "You okay?" And I'm like, "I'm fine, man. I just need a moment." And so I'm standing there, and I'm thinking, I'm like, "Yo, how did I get here?" And I start tracing it back, man. And I'm like, and I'm like, oh. At Fort Polk, Louisiana, in the middle of nowhere, one night, I tell everybody I reached the end of the internet.
Okay.
I was on night shift for, like, I don't know, 2 months, and there's nothing to do after you do your work, so I found the end of the internet, and I was
Okay.
like, "Yo, what's next?" And so, I'm clicking around on YouTube, and then finally I get to Joe Rogan. I'm like, "Who's this guy?" Right? And then it goes, Joe Rogan motivation. So I watched this Joe Rogan motivation video. It's like hero of your own story. Dope. Really like that. That's kind
Yeah.
of how I think anyways.
Yeah.
Then it says podcast. And I go, what the fuck is a podcast?
How long
And
ago was that?
11,
Oh,
2011,
wow. Okay, there
10,
you go.
11. Yeah, yeah.
If you weren't on
Because
that
my
night shift,
yep. And
who
so
knows what would have happened.
yep, and then I think about it, then I heard the podcast with him and Cameron Haynes talking about hunting, bow hunting, because I was like before that, I was like, "Cool. Why would I do that? Like, there's a rifle." Right? I'd already been rifle hunting before. I'd been hunting not a lot, but, and, and so I just, I think about it like, man, so that moment gets to this, and then I get to Sorinex years later, talk to Brandon, and then next thing I know, I'm in a bow shop buying a bow. And so I always think like you don't if you allow yourself to be open, if you allow yourself to say yes and maybe not even say yes sometimes it's the no's. And you just show up into this thing and now I'm a dude who hunts,
Yeah.
right? Like I
Like,
gotta hunt.
the more time you have from the negative instant or whatever has happened in your life, then all the really cool people and things that happen afterwards, you're like, well, I wouldn't have done this. Like, I probably wouldn't have started like 3 companies. Like, I I would have like just taken the risk because like you kind of were. It's kind of might have came from a place of like, I got to do something. I just got to do
Yeah.
something. But I started. I learned so much, and I met my 2 business partners through that, Cody and Jordy. Wonderful, wonderful people, and met so many other people through that. Through me other experiences. Now, like I've learned AI, the AI thing that I'm learning now. So
Yeah, yeah.
if I didn't start that book, like idea, which I threw out to people to contribute for, then I'm like, okay, I gotta learn marketing. I gotta learn websites. I gotta learn this. I'm like, I can't market on my own. This is way too overwhelming. So then I'm like, how can I automate this? Went to AI. And now I have actually for us, I have it 90% there. My arm is like the reason why I was getting frustrated. I didn't hook it up properly, but I have
Yeah.
everything so that it should be drag and drop for the reels or shorts. Basically, one input and it'll automatically put it to like 5 social medias for us.
Wow. That's cool.
So it'll be a drag and drop, and so then that's going to be part one. Part two, I'm going to try to layer into a bit of longer form content and things like that, and see if we can even um, maybe go on different social media platforms that we don't even know about for the hell of it,
Yeah.
right?
I'm
So
down.
so I'm learning how to build all that, so I'm like, "Why not now?" Right? So, I just like, I was trying to do it today, but I kept on moving the left arm, and it just kept on hurting. I'm like, "I'm gonna just wait."
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but
I
it's gonna be
I
fun,
get
like
that.
and who knows, if I make an app out of this that works, then maybe I can turn that into another business. You never know. So
Yeah.
just try stuff out. That's all.
I've been playing with Claude for the
What
week
Claudia?
last
That's
yeah,
my jam. Yeah.
yeah, for the last week and a half, and I'm so impressed. I'm absolutely impressed, man. Like I made dashboards, I've made
Claude
apps,
Code?
I've yeah, no, just regular Claude, just regular. I'm gonna do Claude Code next.
Okay,
I did,
I'll tell you how to set everything
yeah,
up. That's what I'm
yeah,
doing.
good.
So
Okay,
anything you know with that, want to know for that, I'll explain everything.
okay,
It's
cool.
like so easy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so I've done that. I had it help me do the layout for my ebook for the journal prompt
Nice.
book.
Nice.
And dude, I'm so stoked, man.
There you
I
go.
am, yeah, and I'm been crushing through the prompts, and so everything's good, man. I'm winding up. I got a good system. That was very helpful. That was very helpful for just like organization.
100%. Like
I was like, hey, I was like, go in here and fix this up, man.
yep.
Go clean up all my files, please.
What I'm gonna be doing is like I kind of was leveraging it. I'm like, okay, so I was a conversation about a random topic, and it's all my thoughts, and then it kind of like engaged me to keep the conversation going. I'm like, I
Mm,
like this where it went. Can
mm,
we rewrite this into an article, but make it sound like me? Because I've been talking to you the whole time. It sounds so much like me, just polished. I'm like,
yeah,
so I'm going to try to make an app to help blog writing now for fun.
yeah,
So
that's cool. So I'll tell you what I did. I took I have a friend who's a professor for journalism, and a couple other guys who are fantastic writers. And then I took some writers that I admire, and I had it create a learning cheat sheet, like literal 3-page document on examples, writing drills. Write 500 words, remove all the verbs or whatever. Like it's got a bunch of different stuff like that. And that's what I had to do based on those writers
mhm.
and based on these pieces of writing, like how to be more thematic and cinematic in your writing, right? How to be more clinical, how to be more journalistic. And cause like as I continue to write, there's things I think I'm really good at. And then there's things I know I'm fucking horrible at. And my goal in my writing right now, especially for the more serious things I write, is I want to infect the reader, right? That's the only word I can think of. I want what I write to stay with you for such a long time that as you travel through your day, you're like, oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, like, and I've had it happen a couple times where people were like, something I said or did, they like really, really, really said it affected them. And I was like, well, that's the point. That's what I wanted right there. Like that thing that makes you go, "Ooh," like, well, I like, but, and I get
You
it
go back
because,
to it even sometimes, right? Yeah.
yeah, well, I mean, it happens to me all the time, man. Like it happens to me all the time. Like I'll even pull this up real quick. And this wasn't even writing. This was just something I heard.
Hmm.
Uh, um, let me pull this one up real quick. This one hit me hard. It was Chris Williamson. He was on his pod as always, right? Like, but he's talking about what Sturgill Simpson's mom said to him. Cause it's wild. Cause I've been thinking about how to tell my boys this, right? My boys and my girls have been trying to figure out how to say this. It says Sturgill Simpson's mom said, I know you can be more, but you are already enough, or you're enough already. And even if you just stay where you are, I'll be right here next to you. You're going to be great, but you don't need to be great. And I'm with you no matter what.
Yeah, I
And
think
I
I
was
saw
just
that.
like,
But yeah,
yeah. And I was
I gotta
like,
say, Chris Williamson has that English accent. It just makes it sound that much better.
oh yeah, yeah, for sure. For sure. For sure.
So
Right. Throw some music on and it's really cool. But
exactly, exactly. But he also hired a dictation coach, right? So he
yeah,
actually hired a person to help him with dictation, and it's one of those things that, again, another app idea I have already for that. So basically,
really?
basically talk with ChatGPT or whatever your app is, and it talks back to you in your own voice, just 10% better diction and grammar.
That's interesting. I've been talking about that because a friend of mine was my buddy Don
Mhm.
was doing Toastmasters.
Yeah.
And as I get more into public speaking and talking and everything else, I want to clean up some of my habits. Um and so we were chit chatting about how to go about that. And he says, and in his opinion, it was just like, he's like, I think that was really good for like kind of a formality thing to steal a different phrasing. But then he said the podcast is by far 1,000 times better. And I agree
Yeah.
with him
Yeah.
just because I've been doing so many podcasts at this point where like I can tell the quality of my thoughts due to the fact that I talk so fucking much. you
I
know?
could already tell that since we started, I'm like, oh, I'm picking up on things I don't like about how I'm speaking. So I'm
But yeah,
slowly
yeah,
adjusting it a bit by
yeah.
bit. And I said this to Matt before I left when I went in the fall. He got to microdose public speaking just by recording himself all the time. He
Mhm.
microdosed it for years, so now it's like second nature to him, right? So this is basically what this is as well. It's public speaking, because right now it's just us, but we're posting it out there and anybody can see it. So technically, the audience is the world. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, I did it, through the military, right? Like as you become more and more senior, your audience grows from 12 people, 8 people to 25, 30 to 100. So all of a sudden, you can be in front of a large, large, large group or formation of humans waiting for you that are waiting for you to let them go home. So, among other things, right? And so I was fortunate enough to do that stuff, but also do it in a manner where I realized that, right? I think I tried to be the guy who was never just on the microphone to just be on the microphone.
do you
And
get a different feeling from that to this? Because here you get to be okay. Do you feel like you get to be more yourself on the podcast like this? Or because over there you're playing a role still?
no, I definitely this, but that's because not even because it's playing a role, but it's because like
Chain of command?
yeah, I'm doing something, right? I'm doing something very specific. Like I'm here to tell you how to stay out of trouble. I'm here to tell you the next 12 steps to this thing that we're gonna do or whatever it is. Whereas like this and all the other podcasts I'm on, like we're talking about ideas, we're talking about friendships, we're talking about, whatever. And then even more so because after 2018, man, I made a decision to with myself that I would no longer within reason, right? I don't wear a mask at work, right? I'm not a crazy person. I don't just say wild shit at work,
Got it.
but like I am me,
Yep.
right? Whereas like before, I was a bit of a mask. That has to do with more other things,
Mhm.
but still, one of the decisions I made in 2018, 2019 was just like just don't wear a mask and just be who you are, like pretty much at all times. Like I have, there's definitely still different versions of you,
Well, now I'm
but
gonna ask a different question
yeah, yeah.
because you made that choice to not wear a mask, which I think is a great choice. In giving up the mask, I'm sure there was a transitory period where
Mhm.
you were trying to figure out who you were without the mask because you were wearing it for so long? Or aspects of you, not all of you. I'm not saying
Yeah,
100% different person. I'm saying
probably aspects, but to be honest with you, I was like, I knew it. I just kept like, I was fighting it.
no, but, you knew it, but talking publicly and having the right words in how to articulate yourself in that thing that you're keeping inside the whole time. There was probably
Mm,
some trip ups in how you approach that because even when we talked the first time on here, it was like I was just excited to get to chat with you again because it's been so
mhm.
long. Now it's more like, okay, this is a weekly thing. I could take my time, right?
Yeah,
So even that, like you're introducing a new version of yourself to everybody that already knows you and maybe the new people as well. Maybe there was some nervousness, excitement in sharing who you really are because now you don't have to wearing a mask is tiring. Like,
yeah. I think more than anything else, the hardest adjustment was realizing that no one is under any obligation to recognize who you are now, right? That was the hardest thing for me because I knew for such a long time, like, what parts of me I was hiding, what parts of me I wouldn't let other people see. What in the world? Uh, Hold on one second. The ghost of Claude returns.
yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, so, like, like, the parts of me that I was well aware of that, and then I think, honestly, and this is my answer for 90% of things, I think journaling and being the kind of person who has spent a lot of time alone has been very key and being able to kinda be okay with you. Like, especially once I did get okay with me. Yeah, I think that was the biggest one, and it's because I was always the first couple years, I was really like, "Why can't you see me? Why can't you see me?" Right? Like, why can't this person who I care about or anyone who's known me forever, I'm showing them, I'm like, "Yo, hey, I'm here," and they're like, "That's not you." And I'm
Yeah,
like, "No, no, 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 no," you
yeah.
know?
You're not the
And
version
then
they're comfortable with right now, right? They have to relearn you.
or they don't, right? And that was one of the things when I yeah, and when I was in my therapist hit me and she was like, "Yo," like, she was like, "Nobody's under any obligation to recognize anything new." She's like, They might stay there forever." It's just like sometimes with parents and siblings, they'll only ever see the 14-year-old version, right? Some people never ever see X of you, right? Like, and if they do, like, they reject it hard. "Why aren't you partying? Why don't you drink more?" Like,
I've gotten that in the last little
yeah,
while. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, And so but no, I didn't really have that, man. I had a really cool interaction today though that makes me think about this. Um, I'm gonna pull it up because I want to get it right. I read Top 5 Regrets of the Dying.
The book?
Yes.
Great
I
book.
read it. I read it in 2018, 19, right?
Yeah, I think I read
And
that in 2020.
yeah, and so me and my buddy were talking about it, and he goes, "Well, which one of the 5 are you still struggling with?" And I
Okay,
look,
let's give the list because I don't remember them off the top of my head.
okay, living authentically, working too hard, expressing your feelings, maintaining fresh friendships, and allowing happiness. Which
And your
one are you
question was, which one are you not
which no, which one are you currently struggling with?
maintaining friendships? Usually,
See,
I'm very, very good at that, but I just had to take a step back, not because I don't like anybody. I love the people that are in my life. It's just with school, with everything else, I realized I only have so much mental energy right now. And if I go out too late, if I go here, everything else suffers. And I'm like, I need to just focus on this because I've noticed like every semester, my capacity gets more and more and more. So it's one of those things that like, and what you said before this question, which is like, I'm very okay with my own company. I don't have a bad relationship with myself. Never have. Like I don't have a negative talk in my head. I don't have any of that. So now that I'm out of the PTSD, the conversations and the things that I'm realizing about myself or this new chapter is like, I don't think I would get answers if I had other inputs right now.
mm,
So I'm trying to balance that. My thing was winter. I hermit in the winter time. So like, I'm like, I'll just be antisocial right now. And then this is pushing things back a little bit, like a month, a little bit probably back. But I literally bought like 5 pounds of wings so I can barbecue and have a big barbecue at my house. Now I'm just waiting for my arm to get better. Yeah, just, maintain the friendship because like, I don't wanna go to the bars every week anymore. So I'm trying to figure out how to, like, navigate that and change up what I do. But, real cool story, my friend just shared, some good news where he was making some plans to make some big moves, and I told him, like, "This is something that we should be celebrating. This is not like meet up on a Tuesday. This is like, let's set a date aside, let's get a dinner, let's get a few drinks, let's really celebrate, let's dive into all the things you're excited about and nervous about, and let's meet up about this." Like, I just realized I just think I just need real reasons to do things, not just excuses. I think that's
mhm,
the thing it's a today thing, really, to figure this
yeah,
out, right? Or more clarity in that. Like, I knew it, but this moment was more brought more clarity to that,
Yeah.
that,
Well,
piece.
Trevor Noah had a piece that I really liked. He said, "Men always need the third thing, right? It's never just you and a homie. It's you and a homie in a game. You and a homie and you gotta there's always a third thing that you gotta have, like, you have to do." He's like, "Men don't just sit down and go, 'Hey, man, like, how you're feeling? How are your feelings?'" Like, you gotta have the third thing to be the barrier and then get into the stuff. And so I thought that was interesting, and I thought it's also true, right?
Is it still true for you? Because I find that,
For me, less so.
yeah, I find it's less so for me as well because if I'm talking to you right now, if it veers off into those topics, that's not hard for me. I don't need a game or anything. I can just be
No,
hearing
no,
a conversation.
but I mean, I think this is different as a podcast, but I think you and I are probably I don't wanna say different, but you know what I mean? Like, I think we're in a different lane when it comes to this, just specifically. Most people have to have or most men have to have an event or a thing or a reason to get together, and it has to be the thing that they, surround themselves on, right? It's like, "Oh, man, we're gonna go play basketball. We're gonna go do jujitsu. We're gonna go hunting. We're gonna go shoot. We're gonna go." It's like, "Yo, we can just hang.
Yeah,
We
I've
can
said
just
that to
hang."
people, and they're
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
"What?"
yeah.
'Cause it's
Yeah.
the West Indies thing where they say, "Just come in line," where you just hang out.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I'm like, "Oh," I'm like, because my West Indies friends, they're always like, "Just come hang," right?
Yeah.
Indian people as well, like, if you back home in India, people just stop by all the time. This house, when I first moved into it, people would just swing by all the time. I kinda wanna get back to that kinda life, which I really loved it because like, people just message me and just swing by, and I'd always have, like,
Yeah.
ready to go barbecue, ready to go food, something ready to go. Yeah. I'm realizing I'm excited about a lot of things right now. The weather is good too. It's like I'm just excited.
Yeah, I get that, man.
Yeah.
I think there's something cool about that. I think there's something, that we do, Western culture, specifically more Americans, that they kinda ostracize themselves as, like, some form of, like, rugged individualism, because like, they don't want people stopping by. You don't want, um, to make friends at work, all this stuff that I don't understand. And so but I hear people say it and do it, and I see some of the memes and the versions, and I'm just like, "Why don't you want connection with folks?" Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying everybody. Like, everybody don't get to
No.
see the I'm not saying but
Only
but
you
all
don't give your phone number out to everybody, right? So,
no, but that's what I'm saying, but also too, though, you have to in order to be engaged, you have to engage, right? Like, it's a two-way street, and so I find that a lot of times when you have conversations with people, they they were like, "Oh, man," essentially, it kinda comes out like, "My life sucks," or "I'm bored." And then you're like and then you find out, well, like, you don't do anything, and you don't attempt to do anything, and you don't put yourself out, or, like, even with the friendship one, like, one of the things that we were talking about today with my buddy is he was like, "Well, why do you think that is as people get older?" I was like, "Well, I think it's hard, man. I think when you get home from work and you're tired, you don't wanna change clothes and go back out." Right? I said, "But"
you've also been to where was it? Fallujah?
Yeah, Fallujah,
And
yep.
you've experienced other cultures in the army setting, but you've experienced other cultures.
All over,
And
yeah.
what I gotta say about that, because growing up first generation, like, as Canadian as I am, I'm very Indian apparently, because I realize I just do not connect with certain things because I I don't my mom's 80, my dad's close to 90. No, 70, 80, like 70, 80. So like some one of those, whatever. I think it's a little less, but basically they have a social life that is competitive with 20-year-olds. Like, it gets easier. It's like, as you age, you do less things that are work related, and it does get easier if you want it to. Like, my
Yeah,
mom has 20 things that I have to schedule time with her. Like, I actually like, I
yeah.
have to so I don't know. I think it's a little different, like, maybe it's just my family too. Maybe it's just yeah, and what I grew up with, so
I get it. I mean, my family's is very much like they're active, right? They're
yeah.
active. They're anxious. Like the only reason why they're not active right now is because my mom's gotten sick over the last couple years. But
Mhm.
even then, like they're still like, hey, we having this dinner. We're doing this, and so. But yeah, it's something I notice, and I just always am kind of Yeah, I just kinda wonder why and what that is and what's the use of it because I do understand. And
You
I
know
think I
what?
think
It's an identity thing.
well, I think it's a comfort thing too. I think it's a fake comfort. I think it's comfort in the moment. What I mean is, like, it's easy to come home and be like, "I don't wanna go back out because 'cause I'm gonna be tired in the morning," right? But then you'll be tired for something else that doesn't matter,
Yeah.
right? Right?
You
And
know
that's
what?
what I
Not it just made me realize. Like I said, the body pain is the main thing. That's what took all my energy away. So like I cut everything out for fixing that. Because if I didn't cut things out and I just did it slowly, it would have been like a 10-year drip of me fixing it. I'm like,
Mhm,
let me focus on this for 1 year
mhm.
and see how much I can improve. And it's only been like 6 months and I'm like eons better from before. So it's like it's also like the list of 5 things, that might be the issue right now, but I don't think it's gonna be a lasting issue, because I'm doing it for a purpose so that when I'm re-engaging with my friends and everything, I can be more present and not be there and half in pain, and I need to drink alcohol just to numb the pain, right?
Yeah,
So, it's one of those things I gotta step back for a bit, and I'm conscious that I need that back in my life, but if I fix this, that will be back in my life tenfold.
yeah, I get that. I also think that, there's multiple ways to maintain friendships too,
Totally.
right? Especially in 2026, man, like, the idea that my daughter will probably have some of the same friends, if not, if they don't fall out essentially, they won't lose contact because of communication and technology,
Yeah. I don't have any friends
right?
from grade school.
That's what I mean, once upon a time ago, like, a friend moved away and you're like, "Oh, do they even exist anymore?" Right, Yeah,
That's so
but
true.
essentially, my daughter, like, she's grown up in an era where, like, she has a cell phone and her friends have a cell phone and they talk, and I'm like she's like, "Oh, yeah, we've been friends since we were 4 years old," and I'm like, "Yo, they have been."
Yeah.
Like, "Oh, wow," and so I think that we also forget that, man. But, I think also this is just my own spiel and my own belief. I think people have a lot of excuses and set their life on fire with small flames before they ever realize it, right?
Yeah,
These little embers and ashes that their house is burning down, but they don't notice it.
no.
You isolate yourself slowly.
Well,
Not
that's the
like you're
thing.
doing not to be intentional about getting better. I'm talking about people who are just like, "Call you tomorrow," and then call you next week,
Yeah, but
and
that's the
then
thing with, like, the body pain or, like, slowly getting out of shape or, like,
mm,
it's just, like, one small thing over a long period of time, and it just keeps on compounding, right?
yeah.
So, it's the same thing with that.
Well, that's funny because I saw 2 things, Dobby from, Sorinex posted something about, "Hey, fellas, keep sprinting into your 40s," which is funny because I was just sprinting the other day, and I was like, "Man, I'm heavy." Um
You wanted to be big.
Yeah, 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 for sure,
Oh,
for
wait, before
sure.
we move on, we go back to the 5, and I need to you have to say yours.
Oh, yeah, okay. So here's mine, this is why I
Okay.
thought this was interesting. I don't have any of those.
Oh, okay, that's good.
I think my regrets now are very different, and I'm trying to assess those after he asked me the question because I was like, it's definitely not any of those 5. If it was, it would be maintaining friendships, but even then, man, like, I'm the kind of person, and most of the people who know me know that, like, I'm coming, right? Like, I might not be there right then, right? When you text me, I'll get you, but I might be a minute and or whatever the thing might be, and
Yeah,
so
and, like, the not communicating is not out of any hate or anything negative.
yeah,
It's, like,
everyone
just focused on something right now, and that's how my brain is sometimes. I get hyper focused, and then the rest of the world doesn't exist. So
yeah. And so the people in my life are well aware of that. And that also, man, like I do a decent job of just kind of, I don't want to say scheduling, but just making sure I check on folks, man. And so it's not that because I really have bought wholeheartedly into the fact that one of the things that enriches my life is my family and friends, right? Like I constantly think of the idea that there are people who know how to live that are broke, and there are people who hate life and they're rich. And uh, I think is if you get one of the lessons you learn from people who are not well off, broke, poor, whatever you want to call it, is they typically know how to live amongst friends and community, right? And you realize that, like, yeah, and I've said a number of things like this. Like, I can't tell you how much I look back on the last 5 to 7 years, and I thought it would be all these other moments, and then I look back and it's just moments of laughter with the kids or with the family or whoever or whatever. It's never this like, "Oh, man, like, we did this grandiose." Like, those are cool, and those are big moments and memories, and don't get me wrong, I'm not neglecting those. It's just they don't compare. They don't they're not the same thing, right? It's also the idea too for me, like, which is I still wrestle with this one. Um as a guy who really didn't show a bunch of emotions other than anger for 20 years, right? Anger, happy, horny kind of thing, Um, um, the fact that I could cry at the drop of a dime now, like I'm just a big fucking softy, emotional dude, man. And
He was
it's
playing catch
interesting.
up.
Y- Well, you know what I thought about the other day when it happened? I got super emotional about some shit, man. And I my belief is the only reason why I'm as happy as I am now is because you know what I mean? Like I get to like the highs are definitely higher because you can go low, right?
Yeah.
Like yeah. Like you start off at 0 or you can start off at below sea level, right?
Mhm. That's one way to
You
put
know,
it. That's actually really
yeah, you know,
good.
and and because of that, like you're the gain is what I'm talking about, and so I've noticed that the more I allow myself to feel, and it's not always crying or whatever, but just allow myself to be like,
In the
we're gonna,
feeling.
yeah, we're gonna stand in this. Like
Mhm.
instead of run from it or whatever else, it 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 deepens the thing so much more. And by the thing I mean life, right? Like I wrote a piece the other day that I'm gonna release here soon. I was gonna release it, but I was like, fuck it, dude, what am I doing? About dropping my kids off on Sunday and how Sundays I've always been a Sunday dude, right? Like
Okay.
they call it Sunday dinner guy, right? I'm that guy, man. I like to play music. I like to make dinner, like for everyone. And I just dig Sundays. And Sundays for me in my house have always been do nothing. This is the you do what you want day. So people talk about their kids and tablets. Fuck y'all. My kids are on tablets all day on Sunday, right? If they want to be,
If they wanna be.
if
Yeah.
they want to be, they draw, they do art. I'm hanging out. I listen to music. I watch TV, but I'm doing that. And I saw how it's always been. All right. So I used to tell my daughter when she was really little, and my oldest boy, I'd be like, Sundays are do nothing Sundays. So I find my oldest boy kicked up with his hands behind his head, right? and then and so, but then I was thinking about it. I was thinking about how different it is now, and it's not bad, but it's one of these things where when Sunday comes, I find myself at the end of the night getting irritable because I know I have to drop them off with
Mm.
their mom. And I was like, yo. And so I started writing about it.
Mhm.
And dude, I am writing and I am just an emotional wreck
Mhm.
writing this piece because I'm just like, I remember the first time I dropped my kids off in the new place and I came back to the house and I walked by my daughter's room, instant sadness.
Yeah.
And I was just silence. And I was like, I've never heard silence be so fucking loud.
Mhm.
But for as bad as that is, and then I basically spend all week in prep for when they come back. And then I try to be mindful of the moments where I am irritated because it's going to happen.
Mhm.
Right. And they're like, hey, you don't get this every day. You don't get
But you
this every
get it
day.
next Sunday.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just one of those things where you have to be mindful. And I think it's worth noting that the emotion of walking by that room instead of just avoiding it was worth sitting in for a second. It was worth like looking at that and being like, this sucks. It's uncomfortable. I don't like it. But here's what it is. It also means I have good problems,
It has good
right?
problems. Also, it's one of those things that you need to put out and not hold it in.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah,
other
for
people
sure.
can read it and they
Uh,
can learn from this if they can't have the words
oh yeah,
for
yeah. We're I got it. I got it all tightened up now.
it.
So I tightened
Okay.
it up last night. Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
you've been talking about holding off a lot of writing right now. I feel like you need to start putting it out there.
Well, I wanted to make sure I had enough, so
But
I
you have
don't.
enough. It's never gonna be enough.
Oh no, no, no. What I mean is like, so I want a consistent publishing schedule, and so between the fact that like I have a busy life, and sometimes my creative factor isn't as high as it is, I wanted to have enough pieces where I can be like, back up, back, and so because we're talking about Claude, we'll circle back to make the whole thing. So I had Claude go organize all my draft Substack pieces, and it is 52. So I got enough for a year. So we're good.
Nice. I have like 40 something. I just start and stop, start and stop. I need to finish some of it. So
Yeah. And then I'll tell you this. Well, I'm telling everybody this.
thanks.
Um, I think what I'm gonna do. I was playing with this idea today of a microblog, 200 words, 250 words, that I'm not curating for anyone. I'm not trying to sell an idea. I'm not trying to make you a better human. I'm just, this is what's on my brain.
You gonna do it on
150
Substack?
word. I think so. I just figured out that Substack allows you to do multiple publications.
Yeah.
And
So I messed around with that. What you should look into is instead of doing multiple publications, Substack Notes is their Twitter.
yeah, I've been using that, but I'm talking about like when I say it's a bit long for a Substack notes.
It's you know why I'm saying it's not long for Substack Note?
Okay.
I love reading that on my phone. The other
Okay.
one I like reading on my desktop.
Okay. I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, give it a
I'm
shot. Like,
thinking,
if you said 200
yeah,
words, that's a
yeah,
tweet.
yeah, yeah. Because I looked at it and I was like, how do I do this where I don't, basically all I want to do is write. And I know what it is. It's the things I think about or write or voice record in the morning, and just no curation, no imagery, boom, out,
Yeah,
out the door. And
yeah.
like, and so just to do it today, not going on there, but on the podcast, the predominant thought I've had over the last week has been about metacognition, thinking about your thinking, right? Thinking about the quality of your thoughts and being able to judge and assess them. Because here's a I usually try to be very kind on the internet, right? But
Okay.
here's my less than kind thought. I didn't realize how many stupid people existed.
You just figured that out?
So here,
I think my
I'll,
job just highlighted it, so I was well aware. So
so I'll say it like this, right? I've often assumed people were more ignorant than they were stupid, right? And then I'm well aware there's a lot of stupid people, but I just underestimated the numbers. And I also want to say this. I try to keep in mind how many stupid moments I have, right? And so I think, and what my buddy Maury told me, he says, Hancé, he's like, you gotta recognize that you're not what you say you are. He said, you're a bit better than that. He said, I'm not saying you're a fucking genius or anything like that. You can't keep doing that. And so as I read and peruse around the internet and bump into people and everything else, I am just really, really taken aback by the amount of people who engage in outright stupidity. And I think also because I am in search of gold or
Mhm.
wisdom,
Yep.
and in search of, and this is what I was thinking about metacognition, right? And this is my kind of my spiel is the purpose of being able to think about your thoughts and judge them and grade them and also question your beliefs is the ability to lead a good life, right? Because to quote Naval, like I do every fucking week, is, you know, if you're so smart, why aren't you happy? Well, part of being smart to me is not being stupid, and I know that sounds duh, but it's really not. Um, it's also this idea that I have to be able to engage with my own thoughts in order to make myself happy.
Yes.
Because how much of my life is internal, and the parts that aren't internal are still internal because I made the decision to do something stupid, which causes me pain later, right?
100%.
Or whatever it is. But so when you talk to people and you realize like they don't have a judgment or an assessment on their own thoughts other than I'm right or I'm smart or
Okay. We didn't get to this point where we are in life automatically, right? When did you start reading books?
oh, man, I didn't have a choice. I was reading when I was little, man. My parents,
Same. But
yeah,
most people don't,
yeah.
right?
Again,
So when I started reading these different philosophy books and everything as an adult, or like these self-help books or these things, when I read them, it wasn't like, "Oh, this is new information." It was like, "Oh, it's reaffirming what I already figured out."
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So
Mhm.
these people that have maybe their whole life they didn't read much and they just ingested social media content, whatever's presented to them, right? It was very passive how they approached what they ingested. If at one point they start reading the same books that we read, it'll be like, "Oh, this is the deepest thing in the world," and it's just bare bones basic, right? But that's because they just like, again, you started, at 5. I started at 5, and now we're all the way here. We have all those, like, even fantasy books, like, reading fantasy books and the relationships in them and how they interacted, you learn from those as well, right? So,
Well, yeah. Well, I mean,
all of that.
one of the things that I really dig right now is both my kids are really into anime. Both my youngest kids are really into anime. Actually, all
Ooh,
my kids, all of them are into anime. What am I talking about?
I'm
Even
into
the,
that stuff.
yeah, yeah, even the adults. But so I dig anime because of all the moral and ethical themes.
Yes.
I dig it because of the dialogue. I'm a dialogue guy, so fucking like if you got dope dialogue, you got me. I'm in, right? And and so I'm talking to my youngest boy, Miles, and he's explaining to me about this ethical and moral dilemma that he's watching in this anime. And I'm just like, how cool is this, man? Right? It's one thing to talk about like, John Wick is cool because yeah, and all this other stuff. But like these like they're engaging with this because of the actual problem set, not just because it's cool and flashy and whatever. Like they're actually committed to the moral and ethical dilemmas in the thing. And I'm like, yo, this is wild, son.
It's interesting that you just how you had that, comparison, John Wick
Mm,
to anime.
mm. Oh yeah.
The content that they put out in Western media and everything is not that deep a lot of times. I find less deep, and then when you go to read stuff like, anime from other cultures, even other, like, I Indian movies have a lot of dancing and whatnot, but they have started becoming pretty deep as well. Then, I like watching a lot of, like, the subtitle stuff with Thai stuff and whatnot as well. So, it's just like the movies over here, I like I don't know. Let me think about it for a second. The movies over here, they engage and show relationships, but how they are shown in anime, it's really like the narrative, not the narrative, the communication back and forth is like the internal dialogue that we have in our heads, and I
Yeah.
think it's just a lot deeper. I don't know.
That so I mean I can tell you the problem with movies as a guy who loves movies and watches how degraded it's become
Mhm.
is One, they talk about second screen viewing. Have you heard about this?
Oh, that's what's, those 2 what did it I know what you're talking about, yes.
Yeah, so second screen viewing is very real, right? It's one of those things where you're watching a movie and they're running to the library and they go, "We're off to the library," right? It's because you're you're on your phone, right? And so that's one thing. And then two, what it was is it's the advent of um multi-billion, million-dollar projects, right? So they have to be globally accepted. They cannot have cultural nuance
Mhm.
to them, and so because of those things, they won't do well. That's why they like and it's funny because a lot of these anecdotes that informed my opinion all still come from Matt Damon, just in
Matt
different
Damon and,
and Ben
Ben
Affleck.
Affleck. Yeah, they have
Yeah,
that
yeah.
talk on Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I remember now.
Yeah, but he's also talked about it numerous other
Yeah,
times,
yeah, yeah.
and then and then I've seen some other things and people talk about it because I follow a couple of writers, movie reviewers, and they were talking about this stuff, and so I didn't like even the plot, what do they call them? Plot devices. Like I didn't know some of these things existed. They call it like a Mary Sue or a Gary Sue
Okay.
or Gary something. I can't remember. Where it's like so, and people get mad because some of it's like a feminist trap, or so they say. Um, when like a woman character shows up, she has more powers than everybody else. It's unexplainable, and she's just just whatever. But there's also the same thing, and I think I'm describing this wrong, but still, you get the point. These plot devices are becoming more and more uh, the norm for big movies instead of like that would have been something you saw in a garbage '80s flick,
Yeah.
you know, back in the day. But now it's one of these things where it's like this is what we do. But anyways, so I think that yeah, my point is you're right. Number one, you're right, and you do see a lot of movies that are shallow or they never get to go to the next level, you know? I think that's why a lot of TV shows are better, man,
Mhm.
um, for as far as American TV that are on paid channels, not
Yeah,
your s not
I'm so into just reading manga and anime now. That's what I just do for my pastime a lot of time now.
so, it's funny, man, I love movies, I am I dare say cinephile, but, uh
I like movies like I like going to the theater. I love that.
same, I
Oh,
still go to
but
the theater, but
been a while.
A as I go all the time, even still now, and I go see terrible movies still.
Yeah, I just haven't like, that's the thing, I wait till I'm like, "There's no movie I wanna watch, I just haven't gone yet." So I usually go, like, once a month.
I went to go see Scream 7 recently,
Oh, yeah, that's
so
out now, yeah.
yeah, 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 I am still that dude, I still
Yeah,
go to the movie theater for terrible movies, for good
yeah,
movies, for blockbusters,
yeah.
but one of the things I can say though is that I realize how bad so many movies are now. But even more so, what's weird to me, and I don't know if this is a selection thing or whatever, is back before you had streaming movies, right? And you'd go to like a video store to rent a movie,
Mhm.
it felt like you could stumble on good movies more.
Oh, yeah.
Good, good, not blockbuster major motion pictures. It felt like I would stumble on decent movies all the time, whereas, like, now, when I go to stumble onto a movie and I click it and I watch it, I'm like, "What is this terrible?" Like,
You're
you
like, "Well,
know
you know what? If they can make a movie, I can too."
Yeah, well, I mean, I listen, we're on a podcast. Too
Yeah,
many people are probably making podcasts and movies.
probably.
I'm still gonna still make mine, but I'm just saying. Um, but yeah, I don't know, man. I enjoy things that are and I told you my problem anyways is I don't need you to be deep because I'm gonna assess it for 12 layers anyways.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
So,
Like,
huh
I'll do the same as well at times too, but I enjoy like I've said it to you before, like, I don't hate light conversations either because the fun, the humor,
Mhm,
like the podcasts I listen to serious ones as well, but I love comedy podcasts. I watch Hoopin' and Hollerin', which is
mhm.
Jay Williams, the basketball player,
Yeah,
White
yeah,
Chocolate, and
yeah.
just him talking makes me laugh
Yeah,
because
he's good.
he he
Yeah,
is funny, down to earth.
yeah.
I like him. So I I think when philosophy is too serious, it's loses a lot of it because I think without the humor, I think philosophy hits less because it's like the jester in Kingdom, right? If you can't make fun of it, if you can't make fun of them, right? So
Well, I think it's realizing, like, that life is, it is funny.
yeah.
Even in its absurdness, even if in its darkest,
Oh,
like,
so what you said earlier, how you like to reassess your own thoughts. I'm like,
Mhm.
that is the scientific method.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just like same a lot of things are same across the board. We just use different words. So I think like a lot of people have tools to do what they need to do if they realize how transferable these skills are.
Yeah, I think,
And I'm
mhm.
saying this even though you said that like you're surprised how many stupid people there are.
Well,
Because I think certain things they don't realize translate because they can't see the connection.
yeah, they can't
Can't
see
see
the
the parallel.
connection, or what I'll even venture to say is that you get caught up in the pleasure zone.
Mhm.
You're right, you get caught up in the pleasure zone, and so you just stay there, and then what you realize is it's not really pleasurable at all, but, that initial hit is you end up chasing, right? And so, I think that leads to a lot of it, right? I think that's what leads to a lot of it. Is like, why would I ever go search this out? Like, I had a conversation, dude, at the barbershop recently where one of the guys he's after chasing zeros. He's chasing them zeros all the time.
Mhm.
And I was and then I was like, "Don't you ain't got enough?" And don't get me wrong, like, I'm not trying to talk him out of it because
Huh.
I too like the zeros,
Yeah.
right? But I was like, he was talking about his year and all the things, and so I asked him, I said, "Well, what was the best moment of your year, 2025?" And he was like, "Going to the skating rink with my girl." And I was like, "So all this shit you talking, all this stuff you talking about doing and everything else, when's the last time you went to skate?" He said, "We went once last year." I was like, sounds like you missed the point." Sounds like, and I think it was the same thing you're saying is like, because for me, the idea of philosophy is to lead a better life. And it's also the idea of being able to be smart enough or have enough thinking about your thinking where you go, "Oh man, like if this makes my life cool, I should probably add it in more and do less of that other
And
thing."
it's like you said, like the Naval quote, which we both like a lot.
Yeah.
If you're unhappy, or what was it? How did it go again? I just
He
lost
goes,
it.
it now I lost it.
Yeah.
um,
If how smart are you if you're unhappy or something like that?
yeah, like I know now I got to look it up to make sure I get it right.
Yeah.
If you're
If
so
you're
smart, then how come you're not happy? That's what it is.
exactly. So,
Yeah.
and then you said before, like I always say the metric of success, right? What
Mhm.
is the metrics of success? Like if you make enough money that you have the roof over your head, you have extra money, and you can have the best people that you like around you all the time and do the hobbies you want, that might not be multi-millionaire, but if you could do that with less money, then you're successful. I think the zeros for me anyway, after the words come like I want more zeros if I have like a bigger cause.
Here's how I look at money, or
Yep.
here's how I'm starting to look at money. I think there's survival tickets, right? I call them ticket, right? Like survival tickets is what it is. You just got to survive, right? I think there's convenience tickets. That's when you make enough money to have a little extra convenience. You're like, oh yeah, shit. And then there's fun tickets, right? And that's when you're just like, we're just fucking having fun, bro, which is fun for fun's sake, right? And then I think that that's when you're like the unreasonable tickets where it's just like, we do what we want.
Yeah, but
And
like the purpose is unreasonable. It's so big, it's so larger than life. The extra dollars go towards that. The purpose can be
it's,
something.
it's whatever you want.
Yeah, yeah, it doesn't have to be,
Yeah.
like, something super deep. It can be if you want it to be.
Yeah.
But, like, I always looked at, like, if I have so, like, a lot of people live for the weekend, they say, right?
Mhm.
And then they save up money, "I gotta go on this vacation, I need a break, whatever." But, like, if you bought a house and you really made it, like, once you leave work, you come home, you're excited every time. I'm not saying you won't go on vacation, but I think you'd be more choosy where you go on vacation.
Um, I completely understand what you're saying
Okay, you get what I'm
because
saying?
yeah, because it's an equation. It's part of the equation of how I view my next house, right? Because what I think about a lot is I don't want to have a house that I become a prisoner to, but I also want a house that is a sanctuary, right? And not that because I hear some people be like, I come home, they come home, and all they can do is want to leave,
Yeah.
right? And I
Because
think,
sorry, I didn't wanna interrupt.
oh no, you're go ahead.
I was gonna say, the only tweak on what you said is that wherever you're living should be that. Even before you buy the next place,
Yeah,
the place
no,
you're at right now should be it, is what I'm saying, and
no,
make it that.
completely agree.
Okay, that's all.
What I'm saying in the future, what I mean is like I think sometimes people buy so much of a house or so big of a house or so much so costly of a house, the idea of leaving it becomes a prison.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm saying, right? Like
yeah.
I am 100% about all things curation, right? I'm at the point in my time in my life where I'm customizing everything. I don't know if it's a function. I don't know if it's a function of age or where I grew up or what, but like I
Oh,
get some shit, I'm
I've
spray
always
painting
been
it.
custom
Yeah,
everything.
yeah,
Even on
yeah,
my
yeah.
truck, I have to buy floorboards that are separate than everybody else's. I gotta do something else
Yeah.
separate. My house, like, same thing, like,
Yeah, yeah. Like so I'm
but
customizing everything, so I
but,
get it.
like, the reason why I brought it up is, like, if you have a house that is so customized to you, what you want, whatever that is, whoever's listening, is, like, then when you leave work, coming home is the vacation right away. Like, your life is like, work is just the money, everything is a vacation. But this is like you said that, people don't know they're, like, dropping matches around them and starting small fires, right? If you don't make the home and just everything outside of what you have to do to make money, like, completely awesome for yourself in your price bracket, whatever, then you end up spending money on, "Okay, now I gotta go to Cuba as opposed to Aruba,"
Yeah, well,
right?
I
Y
that's kind of the point, but my point
Yeah.
was mine was the opposite of, like, I don't ever wanna stop traveling.
No, I'm not saying
Yeah.
stop traveling. I'm not
No, no,
saying
no,
that at
but
all, but yeah.
what I'm saying is, like, some people do it so big and so crazy that they don't wanna travel because they're like, "I can't leave my gorgeous house."
Yeah.
Right?
I
That's
just
what
think it
I'm
makes you
saying.
look harder for more dope things to see. That's
Well,
how I see it.
yeah, no, I see what you're saying. My version is
Yeah.
just a bit different because, like, and this is just where I'm gonna show my greed. I want it all. I wanna I like traveling to the dirty. I like traveling to the beautiful. I like, I wanna break bread with one of the gifts of my life so far has been that I have gotten to break bread with killers, tell jokes with smart men, hang out with beautiful women, and see amazing sights. And a lot of that has been because of things like that, right? Like I just said yes, and I was just like, I'm not afraid or I'm not worried or I don't have an agenda in the adventure or the place that I'm going. My adventure and my agenda is just discovery. My
Is the journey.
agenda, yeah, exactly. I'm just in pursuit of, this idea. I used to write it a lot as like a little tagline. Like I'm in love with places I've never been, music I've never heard, and food I've never tasted.
Uh-huh.
And that
Y
is,
you're in love with putting one foot in front of the other and not
yeah,
keeping it in place.
yeah, a thousand, dude. Like, listen. So
That's
here,
all
so
that's all I hear
my
when you say that, so
my so like my tag name on Instagram, a traveling man. My friend wrote a song about me,
really? There you
and
go.
that's what it is. It's a traveling man.
Ah, okay.
And so because he was like, dude, I've never met anybody like you who just can't sit still. And it's not like some out of restlessness or whatever. I used to think it was out of restlessness, right? But but now I just realize that, like, there's just a curiosity in me, and there's just this feeling of, like, I wanna see, and I wanna feel, and I wanna understand, and I wanna know, because the more I go, the more I do, the more I see, the more I'm like, "Oh, I get it now," right?
Did your family growing up do big trips at all or anything like that, or no?
Yeah, but my dad and my mom are both very, very, very well traveled, right? Like,
Oh,
been all over Europe, been all over Southeast Asia. My dad, um, whatever. Like, no
man,
time
going
in.
back when in his time, going to Southeast Asia would be dope.
Yeah, yeah,
That'd be so much more cooler than now.
yeah. And so, I think that's also, though, man, like, to kind of get, I don't know, worldly for a second. Why I never have issues with these things that are quote unquote issues today is because my dad and my mom have seen so much, and it was just like, "That's just life."
Can you give me an example? Because I think I'm in
So
the same boat because I've traveled the world my whole life too.
like, when you talk, so we'll go there. So, like, all these dudes that are up in arms about, like, trans issues and stuff like this,
Oh,
like, all or whatever the thing is, right? Like, what and for me, I'm just like, let people be people. Yes, there's caveats and cases and whatever.
yeah, there's
Not
always exemptions, there's always, like, things, but,
yeah.
like, let them live their life. Is they're not bothering you,
Yeah,
there you go.
there's all the and so my thing is, and listening to my dad, who was born in 1944,
Mhm.
right? And who is a manly, masculine dude, right? Dude, cowboy, tunnel rat in Vietnam, and he just don't care. He's like, "Are they happy? Are they making you unhappy? Are they in your life?" Then that's just his general philosophy about everything. And he's just a good dude. He walks into places, and, like, when I took my dad to go get his, I don't remember what they did something to him, some dental procedure, big
Mhm,
time dental procedure, right?
mhm.
And, they were like, when he went back, they were like, "Your dad is the happiest dude. He comes in here, he remembers everybody, he's making jokes," and I was just like, mental note, be more like dad, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, but I say all that because as I grew up, and I just never had a lot of these thoughts and issues and consternations and feelings, and I watch him, and neither did he, and I think that's just why, man. And I think also, be like, you go to other cultures and you see this, right? Like, um, whatever the subject is, it's like, oh, these people exist everywhere, or this thing exists
Yeah.
everywhere,
I'm
whether
gonna
it's
deal with the person as an individual, and if that individual turns out to be a dick, then they're a dick.
yeah, and I think that's what it is, man. And I think it's really hard for me, as somebody who grew up in the fashion I grew up in, to just be like, I have a hard time just lumping folks in, man. As a dude who's been lumped in,
Yeah.
like,
We're in North America, let's be honest. I got
yeah,
lumped in with you guys. So,
yeah, so, you know, but yeah, for sure. And
my good friend Dave, he's half black, half he's lighter than me.
mhm,
So, every time we would go walk around Toronto when we were younger, there'd be people just yell the N-bomb at us all the time. It's
yeah,
just
yeah,
whatever. So, it is
yeah.
what it is.
And it's one of those things that it always baffles me, in the sense of, like, man, like, I wonder what you're afraid of.
Or you could look at it like, I think it's cool that I got under their skin without having to say anything. I don't even know their
Well,
existence under their
I don't
skin.
even it's in reference
It's
to that
wonderful.
in reference to that here, like, it's rare I talk about race in public, but I'll talk about it for a second. Um, um, I would rather know who you are than who you're not.
Yeah,
And so
agreed.
I'm very mu I think race conversations are funny, because I think one of the prevalent versions of racism in today, in 2026, is that you're not supposed to talk about racism. Right?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be conquered, right? And so if you do, it's this thing where, like, "Oh, yeah?" Um, I think also because I inhabit a lot of spaces where, I'm the only black dude, people make big assumptions about me that I think are interesting, and I let them make them, right?
Yeah.
And then but at the end of the day, the way I look at things for the most part is if you're a good dude, you're a good dude, right? If you're not a good dude, you're not. What I will say, I am having a bigger, harder time with people these days because it's easier to see what you do,
Mm. I
right?
yeah.
It's easier to see what you do and what you support. And there are people who uh support really gross things that I'm just baffled by. I'm
Well,
not the
again,
dude.
it's a good thing, like you said earlier, at least to know where you stand now,
Oh yeah, for sure. But
right?
what I will say about that is two things, right? Like I'm kind of the friend and I've always kind of been this way and I know there are people who hate that I'm like this. Um feel how you want to feel. Just don't be dumb about it, right? Just don't be dumb about it and if you're going to be about that life, be about that life,
You know
right?
what? So I've said this to my buddy Jordy, business partner, and I've said to other people too. In the modern age, like I like to know where somebody stands. But what's always interesting to me, the most racism I've felt is actually from like the liberal side of things, because they paint more brushstrokes across everybody than anybody. If you don't speak the same language as everybody else as they Zoom in that realm,
Mm.
like, they think all Indian people think this way. They think all black people think this way. They think all this. I'm like, they're more biased in my experience that I've grown like in recent times, I would say.
What I will tell you is this is I can't speak. I don't know, Canadian stuff versus American stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
I think sometimes in America that's a trope to ignore the fact that you hang with racists, right? Like what I mean, and not you, but like people who are not liberal, right? Who are maybe not racist, right? Maybe that they are not racist. So what they'll do is um, they'll say well, more liberal people are racist because they stereotype you as X, Y, and Z, right? And I'll be like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. I don't identify as a liberal, and I'm whatever.
I don't. Yeah.
I don't identify as a conservative either. But like what I what I will then offer to them, I'll be like, well, I would like you to consider the fact that you hang with racists and you never say anything. And I don't know which is worse.
That's worse. What are you talking about? It's
I
way
do.
worse.
I'm being facetious.
Okay.
I'm being facetious. Like yeah,
I'm
right.
sorry. That's way worse.
Yeah. But
It's like it, it's just
but
like yeah.
that's what I mean, right? And so there's this thing that we do, and again, I'm not trying to be political. I'm just trying to stay specific, and it's hard to be talking about
No, the
race and
personal
pol.
experiences. That's all
Yeah,
it
yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah. Well, no, I'm just saying it's hard to like when you talk about race, people they start painting it in liberal or conservative. But
Totally.
anyways, but yeah, but what I'm saying is like when you have these conversations, right? If you can have these conversations in good faith, they become very different. They become hard. And I think a lot of people, as much as they want to be like, and this is one of my things, is like they want to be like, do uncomfortable shit, say uncomfortable things, like get in an ice bath. And I'm like, okay, well, have this conversation with me, bro.
I love that you brought this up because I went on like when I first met a few people in the group and I was talking to Sean. I'm like Sean, like the ice bath stuff and all this stuff, uncomfortable. I get it, but like, I even tell him to his face. I'm like, I don't like ice baths. I'm not going to pretend I do. I don't like them at all. But if that's the hard thing that you keep on repeating and doing over and over again, is it really that hard for you? No. If you're doing it every fucking day, it's not that hard for you.
Well, what
No,
I'll say is
it's because, like,
it's,
the conversation that you said, you're not having the conversation.
well,
But
it's what I
jump in the
mean.
ice pack every day, maybe twice a day.
It's a chosen heart.
No, but it's not hard. It's
No,
not
no,
hard
no,
because you're doing it
no,
that much often.
no, it's hard. You can do hard things every day,
I'm gonna say
but
at that point, it's just difficult. I'm not even gonna say it's hard. I'm gonna say it's
well,
this was hard, and now you do it every day, it's here.
what I,
Find
what I
something
would,
new.
what I will tell you is I don't disagree with you, but all I'll
Yeah.
say just to keep the language in my version
Mhm.
of the language, I think it is definitely hard. I just think it's a hard that you accept. It's a hard that you're okay with, right? And because I say the same thing to people all the time. I tell them, I'm like, oh, you think that's hard? Go do public speaking if that's
Yeah,
what scares you. Do the one
yeah.
that scares you. Have the conversation with the person that you keep avoiding,
Mhm.
right? Have the conversation with the person. Like, man, like, listen, and this haunts me, right? This haunts me to this day. one of the conversations that I avoided the most is with my ex-wife when I should have had it when we were
Mhm.
still married.
Mhm.
And it haunts me because I was a coward. I didn't want to face it, you know? But meanwhile, and this is why I can say this so strongly, is because I was doing hard shit. I was running marathons and deadlifting 600 pounds and yada. Fuck off. Fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Right? You want to do hard shit. Right. And so I'm not saying for every dude that hears this conversation or every lady, go have a conversation about race with your
No, no,
black and
no, no, no.
white and Spanish friends. But what I will tell you, but what I will say and what I will offer and hopefully that you consider is that you have actual hard things in your life that are not just physicality based, right? I think that if you can do both, you are a different, very open sort of human, right? And that's one of those things that is hard. It's also hard to hear certain things, man. But I would offer just to kind of to round the base on the racism race thing
Okay.
um for people, because I've heard this a lot lately, and I don't know if it's actually true or this is just internet rhetoric that people like to repeat because they hear people who are decent at arguing. Um, like they don't want to talk about some of this stuff because it makes them feel however it feels, sad or not good or not proud or whatever it may or may not be. And they're like, "Well, I wasn't a part of it. I wasn't a part of civil rights or blah blah blah." Right? July 4th, 1776. You weren't a part of that. 1865 is when the Civil War ended. You weren't a part of that. You're happy about it. You celebrate it. You're allowed to celebrate all these things. You're also probably allowed to hear bad things, right? That's just my only, and I'll go this far I'll connect another dot.
Okay.
Reading. It's weird, weird. You can read about all these things and get to a profound understanding of who you are, what you should be happy or proud about. And not just this, I don't mean everything, right? Like one of the things that I like to do every year, one of my favorite books to read, I read Endurance every year.
Mhm.
And I read Endurance every year because it is one of the few books I can find about suffering and hardship that they were asked for. They weren't enslaved, right?
Yep.
They weren't put in the gulag, right? It wasn't a concentration camp. It wasn't, you know, Dutch in Africa, right? It wasn't the Cambodia, right? uh Khmer Rouge, right? Yeah, yeah. And so, but they asked to go on an adventure and suffer. And so I like that idea, but I also think that there's so much we can gain from all this other stuff, man. And I grew up in a family where every summer while school was out, I had to read and write a book report, right?
There you go. I didn't do the book
And
report, but I just had to read a lot.
I had to read a lot, and then I had to, if I didn't write a report, I had to come tell my dad about it, and he knew already. He already read all the books.
Yeah.
And so I had to come, like, "What was this about?" And then he'd ask me a bunch of questions. "Well, what about this part?" And I'd be like, "Shit, I didn't read that book."
That's funny.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
anyways,
No, okay, so the only thing I wanna add to it is, like, and we're saying the exact same thing, to be very honest. We you tend to
mm,
always say the same thing, just our own approach to it. My thing is, it's hard if you don't do it, like, it's like the conversation you don't wanna have, the getting healthy, the whatever, it's hard to do, but if you keep on, like, doing the ice bath, you keep on doing the hard thing that they say online to do, it becomes an avoidance pattern from everything else. Because now I've done something hard, it's an excuse not to do the real thing that you're supposed to do. Start a business, put your blog out, have a conversation, whatever that thing, ask for a promotion, quit your job, do something else, whatever the thing is. It
yeah,
becomes the thing that's your safety blanket. And that's why when it's a safety blanket, it's not a hard thing anymore.
yeah. I
And that, yeah, but I'm saying, like, it becomes that. for certain
No,
people.
I don't disagree. I think of it more in a categories
Mhm.
type thing. So like I would say that when it comes to uh like this is when I talk about lifters who won't run, I'm like, oh, this is what you now I'm saying now we're definitely saying the exact same thing. Because
Mhm.
I'm like, but I do still think that one of the purposes of all things, of all these things, is that you get the side effect and you use the side effect elsewhere, right? Like the hard to learn how to do the hard thing of getting in the ice bath is okay. Well, now I know that I know the feeling now. I know the feeling. It's the same feeling I have right before I walk into the boss's office and say, "Hey, man, we have to have a conversation."
No, but
Right?
again, I'm saying for you, you'll walk in the boss's office, but we
Mhm.
both know people that will do the
Yeah,
ice
yeah.
bath 3 years straight
Yep.
in a
No, no.
safety blanket now.
I'm agreeing. I'm agreeing. I'm
Okay.
just saying that I'm just saying that a lot of people don't see that as the same thing. They don't see the side effect there. The side effect of doing
Oh, okay, sorry,
that,
now I
yeah,
understand
yeah,
what you meant by
yeah,
side
yeah.
effect, okay.
It's the same.
Yeah.
I
We tend to
I
always say the same thing, just approach it a little different, but that's the only thing that's always been my issue. I'm like, "Okay, you did this you proved you did the ice bath, okay. Now it's been 1 month, now it's been 6 months, now it's been a year, but
well,
you're still talking about the same problem that you're not dealing with from month 1."
well, I think also there's this idea too with a lot of people that like you can cultivate toughness, right? Like it's a muscle, but then they only build that muscle in one direction.
One modality, yeah.
Yeah, they don't ever think to do like I said, to step outside of that or to like the reason why I do this is so I can be brave elsewhere, so I can,
Yeah.
because again, it's that
They have the skill,
anxiety.
they don't know how to apply it somewhere else.
Yeah, it's the anxiety and excitement piece.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah, and that's all that is to me. So you said you had some stuff written down. You want to go over there? Go over
Let's
some of that.
see. So, I've been stumbling upon, what's his name? Let me find his name.
Refresh.
So I never heard of, these 2 until recently.
Mhm.
Fyodor Dostoevsky and
Oh
Kafka.
yeah, yeah.
So to me, they're newer. I
Yeah,
might have read their quotes in the past, but I didn't know these people were, saying the quotes. I've been
yeah,
enjoying them because every now and then online, you find, both of them, like, doing quotes together, and
yeah,
they kind of are always like how we talk, 2 sides of the same coin always.
yeah.
And, let me
Yeah,
see if I can find one. Here's one.
Brothers Karamov for Dostoevsky, and God, what's his other famous book? Anyways, famous author.
Yeah, I just
Uh,
ordered the book, I'm waiting for it to come in, I bought it off of eBay, so it should be coming from the States at some point.
yeah, and then Kafka. I've never read any Kafka. I've read Dostoevsky. God, I'm saying that all.
I can't say it probably either, so this one, I'll try to find a few more, I saved a few, but Dostoevsky, "You overthink because you fear you're right." Kafka, "You overthink because you're afraid of being wrong." And I just enjoy it's the same thing, like how we talk always, it's, basically the same thing, and if so I enjoy that a lot, so, because both are true,
Yeah.
right?
Do you overthink a lot?
Um, what's your perception?
I don't.
Uh,
I don't.
I so I've always said this even when I was young, 70% go. So, basically, if I get to 70% that I think I wanna do it, I tend to do it. But I that's my metric for a calculated, like, not going in blind,
Yeah.
that's all. But,
Yeah.
so I do think, like, I try not to overthink on certain things when I need to act, but I try to get to 70%, and if I'm at 70%, I probably have all the information I need to act on something.
My bar's low. My bar's so low.
Is it below 50? Is it below 50?
Probably. My bar is like, am I gonna hurt or am I gonna die? Can I do it again? It's like those
Okay,
3 yeah.
so when it
It's
comes
like
we're talking about fitness, bar's a lot lower.
no, no, no. In general, my bar is like, am I gonna get hurt?
Okay,
Is it am I gonna die? Can I
okay.
do it again? Can I do it again? Because I've always figured that I get better by doing.
What's the
So,
largest sum of money you risked on an idea?
oh man,
Because I've risked a lot.
probably not a
Like,
lot because I
enough that I could be retired right now.
no, so like I just never had that opportunity. I was a soldier for 20 years and I did
Hey,
not do
I
well.
just got into real estate, so that's
Yeah,
what like
yeah,
so. But
yeah.
I
Like,
took risks that if I with the knowledge I have again, if I didn't go through it, I wouldn't have the knowledge I have now. So that's a
like
caveat. But with the
I'll
knowledge,
say
I'd be
this.
retired right now.
I'll say this. Had I had any had I been any level of the curiosity lever pulling that I do now, I probably would be a lot different. So, talking about Fort Polk and all that other stuff, because if you listen to early Rogan was on what before everybody else?
YouTube,
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin. Okay.
Bitcoin. And so
Mm.
I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna buy Bitcoin," but I was lazy.
Yeah, I
So I
lost a lot of
just
Bitcoin. That's another thing I
so
did. Fuck.
so I had the army gave me a bonus, a very large bonus,
Yeah.
and I was gonna buy Bitcoin with it, but I just could not be bothered to figure out how to get that fucking wallet
Yeah.
to work.
Yeah.
I tried for like a night and I was like, "Can't do it on army computer."
You'd be retired now, though.
Dude, like, but so I never really had the time with money but my risk aversion is just low, man. Like I've just never been a guy who's been afraid of risk. What I will say is due to the military though, and especially being where I'm from and everything else is you learn how to mitigate risk really well. But you learn how to uh I think one of the best skill sets or whatever no one talks about with the special operations community or just moving fast in the military in general, even though the military is not as good at moving fast as they're advertised. But on a smaller level they are, is that you have to have the ability to get a skill, learn a skill, implement a skill like that. It's got to be quick.
So,
And
because you have that turnaround time that's very quick, and you say the bar is very low,
mhm,
but that's probably because you're probably quicker at assessing the level of risk in certain regards than other people. Like,
I
because,
think you
like,
get
people who haven't been in life and death situations as much as you're like, "Oh, this isn't as serious as, like, somebody else might think that never's done anything."
I think that, and I think just in general, if you're the kind of person who's just put yourself in risky situations,
Mhm,
you just start to be able to assess things faster, right?
mhm.
It's one of the bits that Matt has that I fucking wish I came up with. When he talks about the skateboarders, I don't know if you ever heard this, but he talks about
I'm not.
skateboarding. So he talks about skateboarding and how, like, if you watch skateboarders, they'll do their run up
Mhm,
and they'll stop
mhm.
and they'll start over because they're calculating how off, right, or wrong they are. And they know down to the fact that, like, oh, that didn't feel right. So they do it. And what I would say is that if you're the kind of person who got into fights when you were younger, right? If you're the kind of person who was mischievous, you know, and just all the things, right? You're the kind of guy who um, I had to learn how to talk to women. So, like all these things it put my radar up higher. And so I see things typically pretty good. I read people decently. I read situations decently when I'm not, fucking off. And so I think you're saying the same thing. I'm just kind of walking through it. But like
Yeah,
and then you go to the military and then it happens tenfold.
yeah,
But it's also beforehand, right? Like it was all the things beforehand. It was trying to which I was never successful. He doesn't even know it, but I just was never successful at trying to sneak out of the house. Um, uh, because he's that good.
make a clip and send it to him.
Yeah, he'll see this. He'll see this. He ends up listening to almost everything. It just takes him a while.
Yeah.
But all of those things, man, I think are kind of what it is. And then I think if you just pay attention, people don't pay attention.
No.
No, there's a lot of things like I'm really bad at certain types of details, but I'm really good with or I would like to toot my own horn. I could be wrong and say I'm I'm pretty good with details with people and reading and watching them and how they maneuver and react and everything else. And I think that just, you spend enough time around killers, bullshitters, um,
But now
and
you just made me think of another question for you. So, if your threshold's so low, how do you filter out the things you don't wanna do? Because, like, mine's 70 for a reason. If it doesn't hit that threshold, then it mitigates things I don't wanna do. Because like, I still did a lot of things, right?
oh, well, that's just a thing of I my boundaries and what I want to do are very, very narrow, what I
Mhm.
want to accomplish. And also I think certain things are just objectively cool.
Yeah, yeah.
So if it fits into that vein, um
Okay, you know what? I think so we're thinking about 2 talking about 2 different things, first of all.
okay, okay.
Objectively cool, you gotta do it. I get it. But I was thinking about, like, taking a risk for business, taking a risk for, like,
Oh,
so
even
because, like, that's why I have the 70% rule for myself is because I'm like, under 70, then I will probably not do it. But if it's above 70 or just hits the 70 I don't need to know the extra 30% because you figure that out in it.
okay, so this is different, right? So for me, for
Yeah.
business, it
Okay, I
comes.
didn't know we were talking about 2 different
Yeah,
things here, so I'm happy to know.
I was thinking very broadly.
No,
So
because I said the whole thing, like, how much money do
yeah,
you risk? So, like,
yeah, yeah.
I've taken some risks that yeah.
So for business, what I would say is, how well do I know it? And I don't mean know it in like a risk portfolio, but just how well can I like assess it, right? Like I cannot hop into anything with farming because I don't know any background. I've got nothing, right? Whereas like I worked for a artificial intelligence company. I've done some things there. I've done a decent amount of stuff around AI and machine learning. So like I'm pretty comfortable. I'm not a fucking engineer, but like, but but
If
I
you
know some
but
things.
also, if you don't know the question, you got an engineer to talk to. So, there
Yeah,
you go.
yeah, exactly. And so,
So, there you go.
but yeah. And then the other things I would just say is it's more like I'm so time based in the sense of like I am I'm well aware I'm 44 years old and my clock is running out. I don't think that means that it's happening tomorrow.
Mhm.
So I don't necessarily want to be involved with things I don't want to be involved with. And it's really easy for me to hear something and go, yes. Right now, the differences would be I have a curiosity for certain type of things. Like, so, especially business wise, I'm very interested in like small widgets that need to be everywhere
Mhm.
to make money, right? That's a different thing. I'm very interested in things that have to be. I'm starting to be more interested in sales, I guess is what I'm saying, but not like I want to be a salesman, but like I just I think the process is interesting.
And there's value in it for what you wanna accomplish.
Yeah, I also think uh anything that contributes to my mission statement too, right? Like I'm there. I'm just that's kind of where I'm at, man. And so there's it's easy for me to say yes. It's also easy for me to just I am the guy, just to be even more honest. I am the guy who will just take on a shit ton of tasks, right? And I'll take them on under the guise of, "Oh, I know this one won't be," or not that I'll know, but I will figure out this is not for me,
Yeah, or you'll
or
learn a
this is.
skill that would be helpful for something else.
Well, even the skill one, now when I'm being very practical and pragmatic, the way I look at business skill and everything else is I look at it as silos, right? And so I have all my different silos, right? So and what I mean is writing, speaking, podcasting, they all fit in the same silo. I don't have to learn a new skill for that, right? Video, photography, content creation, no new skills for that, right? So my Clark Kent job, intelligence, budgeting, all the other stuff, special operations field, like all that stuff, same silo, right? If I don't have to add a new silo and it already goes in one, the
Uh,
answer is automatically yes.
yeah, makes sense.
Because I
Just
don't have to
building
learn
on
it.
it, that's why, yeah.
I don't have to learn a new skill set,
Yeah,
right? Whereas like,
just expanding that
eh,
universe, really.
yeah, yeah. Now, new silos for me personally I want them to be strictly fun based.
Mm,
I'm not saying I wouldn't add one for business, right? But also I know my strengths in business, my strengths and just in general, their leadership development, management, creativity, things like that. Like I'm not the guy who's going to go in here and be like, let's admin this to death.
no, no, no. I
you
when
know,
I business for you, I meant those things actually. That's what I was
no,
getting at.
no, no, I understand, but I'm just saying like, I also, just because I come across a fair amount of people and things and they want to talk and I'm like, I learned a long time ago that as much as I like money, it's not my motivating factor. I took a test to go be I don't remember what they call them. Basically an intel analyst for money. It's like a financial analyst, but a bit different. I can't remember. They have a very specific title. I can't remember what it is. But
Mhm,
you have to take this test for it.
mhm.
I was asleep. I saw that salary number and thought I was good to go. I was like, "Oh hell yeah." I was like, boy, I'm about to crush this test." I was asleep during that test, and I was like, "I guess money isn't that motivating to me."
No. What money
No.
does might be, but they have to be it has to be kind of
Mm.
fun getting it.
Yeah, I mean, I think also, like, once not that I've made crazy money, but I made a couple good checks. It also becomes part of the status quo. It hits your account and you go, "Okay." And then you realize, like, I still gotta do the thing in order to get this.
Yeah.
And I think that's also why it's so wise to, like you said, like, to do business and do things with your friends and people.
I'm all about that. Like,
Yeah.
if I didn't like you, I wouldn't even be doing this because, like, this is my social time, but this is also gonna be basically us trying to make the podcast get bigger, so it's a business too. So, for me, it's part and parcel because now it's fun. Because if it doesn't become a big thing, I get dope conversations out of this,
Yeah.
right? So, same.
Well, that's what I had, like, a buddy of mine's his name's Scott Volkorts, and he owns Volkorts and Firearms, and we were talking about why he should continue to run his podcast because he's like, they don't make podcasts don't make a lot of money, they don't do all this other stuff and all that. And I was like, well, what do you get out of it, man? And at the end of the day, like, we both came down to the same thing. We both like doing podcasts because we get to talk to friends, expand our universe. I get to articulate myself and be more clear and sharper with my thoughts and words, and it becomes a thing where um I also basically have dedicated time, number 4 on the top 5 regrets, to spend with my friends, to maintain relationships, you know, because like, I got there's 2 guys, man, that I work with that I love to death. These dudes are awesome, and, we were talking, I was like, "When you guys leave, I think, we're gonna start a podcast that we never release just because of our career fields, but we'll just do it just to do it."
Mhm.
You know? And I told them, I was like, "I'm gonna steal all the ideas from this conversation." I'm gonna yeah, steal all the ideas. But yeah, um, but yeah, man, I think that's,
Yeah,
that
that's the thing about getting the older thing I said, like, if you wanna party all the time until you're 70, go for it, but I think, like, it's just having projects together, right? The podcast is a project, other business is a project, they're just projects, like, some projects make money, some projects just have good stories, right?
yeah,
So and
yeah,
that's another reason why for the name of our podcast, Finding Gold, I just think that was, like, poignant, it just made sense because like, every time we talk, we're like finding a gem here, finding a gem there, and even hopefully we start well, now that we're getting like a in the mode of things and have a routine, then bring some friends on as well, and it'll be just like a hang. So
yeah.
we need to find some
I
gold
told Sh
in the yeah.
I told Sean to come on and, some other people, and there's some other folks that, we need to interview that are, awesome humans that I think would have some good insight. Uh Before we wrap it up, I think I got this is just a cool little 2 little quotes I pulled off the internet. No attribution because I didn't take the time to get one. This was from the New York divorce lawyer. His name's James Sexton. He's been making his rounds on.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. He was. he said the smartest thing he ever heard about God, and it was God is the name we give to a blanket that we put over a mystery to give it shape. And I was like, man, I really dig that. Um, I got a couple.
I got another one, another Kafka and just Kafka.
Dostoevsky. Yeah,
Kafka.
there
There
it
you
goes.
go. Dostoevsky.
Yeah,
That's how you say it.
yeah.
So Kafka, people crave intimacy, yet fear being truly seen. Dostoevsky, and so they settle for shallow connections, call it love, while dying quietly of loneliness. I gotta say this again. This is horrible. One more time.
You got it.
Kafka, people crave intimacy, yet fear being truly seen. Dostoevsky, and so they settle for shallow connections, call it love, while dying quietly of loneliness.
Oh man, dude.
Yeah. I'm
You
really
know,
enjoying these two, to be honest. Like, I've been going on a rabbit hole.
there. Just a quick aside. Um, a lot of wisdom in like just not Gur, but that gaspy, like, oh my God, on Dostoevsky's books. Like,
Mhm.
fuck. Just like the heavy, like,
Yeah.
yeah. Which I
Yeah, I
dig,
gotta read, like, what he grew up and, like, how it was where he grew, because, like, that has to have a lot in there.
communist Russia.
Oh, there you go. There you
Yeah.
go. I assumed with the name, I wasn't sure.
Yep. Communist Russia. I believe during Stalin. Let's see. Yeah, Moscow, Russia, died in February 9th, 1881. So even before Stalin. Yeah. So that was like, I think that's like Lenin. Is that
That
Lenin's time?
that might be, yeah. I don't know the order off the top of my
Yeah,
head.
Yeah, Lenin. Yeah, there it goes. Yep, yep. So it's during Lenin's time frame. So there you go. Yeah, hardcore Russian blah. You know,
Yeah.
but
You go
fantastic
on the
work.
quote, I have one more that's kinda related to kind of what we talked about earlier, so
Good.
okay. So, basically, how you said, about when we talk about race and how some people they might be racist you're hanging out with, kind of thing. You prayed for clear vision. Don't forget to pray for the strength to confront what you see.
Man, I don't know what it is. What's going on, man? I've always felt like this, but it's become more and more a part of my backbone. But the ability to not hold my tongue when I see wrong, right? Like I have a very fucking hard time now, like not saying like, "Hey, yo, that's wrong." Where, and I mean in very specific, like there's certain types of things where I'm just like, whatever. That's
Yeah, yeah. I figure this means for people in your circle because
well,
you don't want it in your
moral.
circle.
Just that, and then like this moral and ethical wrongs, man. Like and I think what it is too. Like I didn't spend a lot of time growing up thinking about character.
Oh, I have a lot.
I didn't. Or maybe I should say that backward. Let me say it better. I didn't spend a lot of time in my 20s. I did when I was younger.
Mhm.
And then when I got to my 20s, I was one of those kids who got caught up in like, I'm just here for the good time, man.
Ah, okay.
You know what I'm
I think,
saying?
like, you're probably in the comic books and, like, I comics book is where it comes from for me. Comic books,
Yeah,
like,
for sure. A
superheroes.
thousand. Yeah.
So I 100% thought about character, ethics, all
Yeah.
that, and it matters to me. It always
Yeah.
has, and even through the partying, this people I partied with, I love their character. I still to this day do, and they're wonderful people. So, um,
Well, see,
luckily I got the blend of both, luckily there.
I think I also went into a world of very much of anti-hero, if we're talking comic book.
Yeah.
If we're talking comic book, like, you know what I mean? Like I very much was in tune with that. And then, I just I look at it differently now. But then I think about it when it comes to all this stuff. So even like we talk about like race, or we're talking about like just being a good human, man. Like I'm just
Yeah.
like, fuck, dude, man. Like
Just be kind.
just yeah, well that one above, I mean, above so much, man. Like what I tell guys all the time is just be cool, bro. Just be cool. Like you don't have to, like, you can accomplish so much and not getting your ass whooped by just being cool.
Yeah. You make so
It's,
many good connections just by being kind, and, like, you can
th
still get ahead too, like,
that's what I mean, it's like, it's just
I'm
so
not saying
ama
be a f like, a doormat. Just be kind, though.
yeah, but that's what I mean, it's like, you well, here's one of the things that shocks me sometimes, is people talk to me and they'll say something to the effect of, "I didn't know you could be kind, but also be a dude who's intimidating and, like, whatever," and I don't think of myself in any of those fashions, but it's been said enough to me where it's like, "Well, what the fuck, man?" Like, it's just like
I've gotten that said my whole life, and I'm like, I just like, "What did you perceive me as?" Because like, all I do is, like, when you meet me, I just start, like, joking and cracking jokes and smiling and laughing. So,
yeah,
it's
well, I mean
interesting when like, you don't realize other people's perceptions when you, like, just walk up to them. Like, you just don't even know, like, I have no idea.
well, I mean, I'm aware of how a lot of people perceive me,
Mhm.
but I'm always shocked that to them, um, it's not a normal thing.
Yeah, you're in your own skin, so it's very normal for you, right? So
Yeah. Like, when I have people tell me that, like, they didn't know that, like, dudes could be, like, kind and tattooed and, like, whatever, and all this stuff at the same time, I'm like, "This is just a normal human fucking function, man." Or, like, they're like, you know, just whatever. It's just to me, it sounds stupid even saying it out loud, and I'm not calling them stupid, but I'm like, it sounds like such a what did you think?
one-dimensional.
Yeah, and then but it's been said enough where I'm like, "Well, maybe there's actually it's a thing there," you know?
Yeah. Well, again,
You
like,
know?
if everybody grew up in around only people that look like them and you look like you, people are gonna assume things from what they see on TV, right?
Yeah,
So,
well,
it
I
is what
mean,
it is.
that and just, all of it, not just that part, but yeah, that part for sure, that part for sure.
100%,
Yeah,
but then, they
yeah,
get to talk to you, they're like, "Oh, this is bullshit," and they like you. It is what it is.
yeah,
So,
yeah, I mean, it's there for sure.
yeah, it's like that guy on, Joe Rogan that he, talks to all the KKK members, and then he has all
Mm,
their stuff. I thought that was really good,
yeah,
he
yeah,
didn't approach it with anger, but, like, these people just never been around anybody else. They don't know they grew up and that was their religion they grew up in. So they didn't know
yeah.
anybody, right?
Well, you're I think we often forget how much our environment affects us. Like, we know that. It's one of those ones where we know it, but then, like, you really don't wanna, like, cop to it when even
Mhm.
when we're talking, like, especially if, like, we're zooming out and we're talking about issues, people they don't wanna cop to it, they wanna be like, this, that, and the third, it's like, "No, man, like, shit matters, man." You know, the reason why you are not open-minded, the reason why you can't think past this, the reason why you're stuck on the front end of Dunning-Kruger, the reason why, all these things, the reason why you've never cracked open a book, right? Like, one of the biggest indicators to whether your kids will read is if you read. I gr I grew up in a house where I would walk by and they're like,
Yeah.
"Everybody's in a book." I'm like, "Alright, I guess I'm reading a book then."
That's also with other things, like because like, I shared with you, like, my house had a lot of art because everybody was
Yeah,
capable of doing art, so they'd show you art and like, "Oh, do this. I'll buy you paint. We'll do this." Right? So, like, you just kinda do it because they didn't stop you from doing it, right? If
yeah,
anything, you wanna try it, they encourage you to always try the things, right?
yeah.
So
Yeah, I definitely grew up in a house where I've tried, encouraged, told to
mhm.
do new things all the time. So, that makes sense.
Oh, one thing I did wanted to say, because I forgot completely because of the arm, was that over the last 2 weeks, this is the first time that while it was happening, I realized a part of me was, like, dying off. I'm
Mm,
like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." Like, it
what do you
wasn't a,
mean?
like, negative thing, like, it's just, like, I realized that this certain version of me is just gone. Like,
Oh,
I
yeah,
didn't feel like you know what it is? But
yeah,
live, I'm like, "Oh, wait a second," like, "Yeah, that's just done."
yeah.
So
I I think two things about that, we not we, but I remember I think I shaved 2 years ago. I hadn't shaved in, like, 7 years before that.
Probably the
And
first time I
so
met you on a call because I think you had no beard then.
yeah, yeah, that's probably it. That's probably it. I had made a decision that I wasn't gonna shave until I could fix myself.
Mm.
And I was sitting around the house one day and I realized, I was like, "It's been a year. It's been a year. It's been a year of you knowing that things are better. Like, y you still have PTSD, you still whatever, but it's been a year that you know the code to be in good standing with yourself, right? You know the framework, you know how this works, you know what to say, you know what to do, you know what actions to take, you know what actions to not take, and you're doing okay. And so I can hear myself in your thing for the first time. I don't know why.
First time.
Yeah, it just happened. No big deal.
Mhm. Hopefully
But
everything
yeah, it'll be good.
sounds perfect on this end this time, so
It could be just because I have these fucking dope headphones on.
yeah, there you go.
Good
Dope.
job, Sony. Good job, Sony. But I I'm sitting around and I notice, I'm like, it's just not the same. It's different, and he's
Mhm,
gone.
mhm.
And so I know that feeling very well. And the other thing is, and I don't know if this has happened to you or happens to you, but I can tell when I'm in the midst of what I call growing pains. Like I am growing, I don't know whether you with the word spiritually, intellectually, whatever, because it is actually uncomfortable.
You
Like,
know no, no, sorry to interrupt, but before this realizing that, "Oh, this is done," that was what was going on for, like, the last few months. I'm like, "Something's different. Something's different." It's probably, like,
mm,
why I doubled down on, like, "Okay, I gotta really just focus on fixing my body, fixing this, whatever." Like, I didn't know, like, I just like, this is what I gotta do right now. I just had this feeling, and then all of a sudden, it was like, within the before the arm went, it was like, and I haven't even defined it yet, just I know that there's the version of me that was before, maybe 90% still here, but that 10%, that whatever that 10% kinda just, like, gone.
yeah. I think I mean I can't diagnose shit, but what I would just tell you is like I know that now it feels a very certain way, and I know it every time now, and I'm like, oh, it's happening. Like it's been happening for the last like couple months. And I just talked to a buddy of mine who's going through it, and he was like, man, I don't know what's going on with me. I don't feel like doing this, and I don't feel like doing that. And life is just I'm confused, and the fuse isn't lighting. And I just go, oh man. I was like, you're going through growing pains, bro.
Mhm.
It's like he's like your spirit, your heart, your soul, whatever you want to call it, is telling you like it's time to move. And it doesn't have to be some big dramatic like, you know, fucking cha-cha or whatever, but like sometimes it's just simply telling you like, hey man, like let go. That
Yeah.
guy's gone.
You know what? 'Cause obviously this isn't the first time it happened, like, there's been a lot of progression since the
Mhm.
worst PTSD. But I think this is the first time there's been enough space to be aware it's happening, where in the past it was like the growing pains, the change, and there was still growing pains going on after that.
Oh, for
No
sure.
space, right? You know what I mean? But, like, there was, like, each time there's a good chunk that was fixed each time, or not fixed, deviated or disappeared. I don't wanna say fixed, I just think, like, removed is the best
Yeah.
way to put it.
Well,
Uh,
it's I think yeah, I don't know, man. I'm of the belief that the reason why I have it tattooed on my hand is monks don't retire is because I don't think we get a chance. You always have to meditate, whatever that means for you. Like you must stay in practice to the thing forever. And to me, there's something romantic and sexy and cool about that. To some people, that sounds like hell,
you have that
right?
on your hand, I have on my wrist right here. The cure for the pain is in the pain.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
'Cause I'm a big
Yeah.
Rumi fan, so
Yeah.
and again, same, same. But it's
Yeah.
one of those things where it's like, eh, avoidance is not the answer.
No. No. I used to I used to write it down in my book a lot of times, like when I would go through some shit like that, and I would just be like, inoculation. This is the
Oh, that's
thing.
nice.
It's just like, because I would think about it when I would be afraid of something. Like whenever I would be afraid of something, I was like, if I could just macro dose this and just inoculate myself,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
fine. I'm fine. And it's true. At least in my understanding and my belief
No, that
system and
makes total
where
sense. No,
you
I
know,
think it's very true. That's the real reason of the ice plunge for me.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, for me, so just because we talk about the ice bath so much, I'll tell you what my thing is with ice baths is I look at ice baths as a way to measure my reaction time to acute bullshit, right? And so meaning the first time I get an ice bath, it takes me a minute to get my shit together. The second time it takes 45 seconds. The third time it takes 30, and so on and so forth. And so by the end of the month or the 6-week program or 8-week protocol, when I get in, I'm instantly okay. And so I look at that as the same way as how I handle bullshit in the world, right? Like, and so the first time it happens, I freak out, unhinged, fuck you, and then the 8 weeks in, I'm just like, oh man, that really sucks, dude. I'm sorry. I didn't I know you cut it's no big deal that you cut me off. I
Yeah.
don't care, you know? And that's how I view it. It's how I viewed it since the day one, man, is because if you really look at breath work, right? And not from some like again, not from like some woo-woo perspective and not from like some science perspective. Just straight up like when you're upset, what do you do? Or your kids, right? Kids are the worst, right? They do that fucking face, man. They're like, you know, or when you're nervous to go talk to somebody or something, even the people who are cool about it, they still get that,
Yeah.
and so my thought is always like, how can I control this and how can I use this to my advantage? And I think that's the reason why I'll say I dig them, right? But I'll never dig them because I think it's fucking, you know,
No, no,
enjoyable.
okay, it sounds like I'm hating on ice baths a
No, no,
lot.
no, no.
Oh.
I know you're not. I know you're not. I'm just giving you the
Yeah,
perspective I
yeah.
have as far as like why.
No, no,
Like
totally. I
like
just like making light of it a little bit. Like, I do hate the ice bath personally. I don't like doing it, but I just think when it becomes a safety blanket is the only reason why I brought it up before, and that's it. But I
yeah,
see
no.
why you're using it. I think that's great, but then you worded it perfectly. It's your bullshit meter. So now you're translating into something parallel to it, something outside of the ice bath, and that is where the magic is. That is where where you're, "Oh, I can do it here, so I can also do it here, not
Well,
just here."
I think that's the purpose of all of these, not all, but a lot of these things, right? Like I think most people forget the reason why you meditate or the reason why you're doing breathing drills or the reason why you're whatever is because the goal is to be in control when you need to be in control. It is not just to spend your 4 minutes in the morning going, I meditated this morning. It's so when you're at work and you have the hard thing, you go, all right, when you get the bad news, right? You've already spent time in the bad news when you were breathing and you were visualizing and you got to, like you already visualized the hard moment of having to do or say whatever it is, right? Um and but I think again, like most things, I think we just lose sight of that and cognizant because it's sexy, it's Instagram worthy, I'm
Yeah.
caught up in the moment, I'm caught up in the trend. Johnny said I should, like whatever. He said he does it and he's got a good life, so I'll do it too.
Yeah.
Which I don't think is wrong, right? Like the
No,
reason why something starts is not the reason why it finishes or keeps going.
no, but
But
what you said about Johnny, the example, was like, if you want to be very good in finance, maybe you're gonna emulate other finance bros,
for
right?
sure.
If you're gonna be very good in the army, maybe they're gonna emulate you, right?
Yeah.
If they want, like, you kinda see you see the avatar in front of you, there might be a reason why that avatar exists.
Well, I agree, and I think you're good. I just say it because some people have an aversion to being like, you know, it's gotta be for the right it's like people who don't give to charity because or they get mad because people give to charity for a tax break, right? I'm like, "Who fucking cares?"
Money's still getting used.
Like, but it's one of those things, right? Like, I just that's just a whole beef with me. Like,
Yeah, like giving money to a homeless guy because they're gonna buy crack. Yeah.
yeah, like, dude, just your job is to do. The reason behind it, it'll change, and if it doesn't,
I
okay.
I I like, saying this a lot, and my personal belief is that everything humans do is a creative endeavor, because at one point there was not the number 0, so it was a creative endeavor. Math is a creative endeavor, everything's a creative endeavor from
I like
human
that.
insight, and because of that, when they say if I wanna say that, then what they say about art is when you make art, after you give it to the public, how they interpret it is how it is interpreted. It's not how you interpret it. It's not how you want other people to interpret it. So,
Yeah,
same thing. Money is made up anyway. It's a creative endeavor. If you're gonna give it to somebody else, then you're gonna be upset that they don't spend it on a burger instead of buying something else for them, right?
I I
Once
get
it's
it.
out of your hands, it's out of your hands.
It took me a long time to conquer that one, but yeah, I agree. Um, all right, I'll drop these and then we'll
Yes, sorry.
land no, you're good. I can keep going.
Yeah.
Um, speaking of art and creative, uh, Marco Pierre White said this: "A person who works with their hands is a laborer. A person who works with their hands and their brain is a craftsman. A person who works with their hands, their brain, and their heart is an artist. Be an artist." I thought that was dope just because I've been thinking about being a craftsman a lot lately, right? I think of writing as being a craftsman, but then I heard that and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I get it.
It's all a
'Kay,
creative pursuit. Life is a
you
creative
know,
pursuit, right?
why I definitely, one of the things I've been doing lately with coaching is telling people to find something creative to do, you know, more creativity. Um, which I mean, like I said, my thing is all about the side effect. I'm not a photographer because I'm trying to publish art and whatever. I will. I'm a photographer because it's changed the way I look at things,
Yeah.
you
And
know?
I think what you said is like find something creative to do. I think the definition of what's creative is just a lot bigger than people realize.
Yeah, yeah. I get what you're saying and I dig it. I'm just saying in general, like I think to put it in a more textured term for somebody so they can actually kind of grab a hold of so they can actually grab a hold of it and maybe use it is like I think the reason why you do art and you create art and you become creative is because these things transfer over in a way that's really hard to articulate at first,
Mhm.
right? But like the reason why I write is different now, but the reason why I started and the reason why it's happening is because I want to be more articulate. I want to be able to capture my thoughts. I want to be able to know what my thoughts actually are. I want to see if I'm full of bullshit. And now I want to be able to influence and I want to be able to uh, infect people with the ideas and thoughts and ways that I've been shaped and to know that like this is what I think, this is my spin on a good life. You know, this is my spin on how you view X.
Yeah.
And so, you
It's
know,
another way for you to leave your mark on the world.
maybe. I never think
Yeah, man.
about it like I mean, I never think about it like that. I do think about I will be very honest, I do think about my kids finding my letters and my writing, and I hope they dig it, you know?
But
I
like you're writing, and what's going to be happening is some of the people that we both know that reach out to you and me, and some reach out to you quite often now, right?
mhm.
Um, in a way, because you're imparting knowledge, you are imparting a viewpoint that they didn't have access to in the world that they grew up in. You're doing the same thing that you do with your kids.
Oh, yeah, for sure, for sure. I get it. I will not argue against that.
I think it's a good thing is all I'm saying. I think it's dope,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
I do
Because even
too.
when I'm doing this, I have no kids, but it's when somebody, reaches out to me and tells me that something I've said or something other or how I approach thing has really altered how their viewpoint on life or what they're doing. Like the one kid that finally decided to move out of his house, because he's like, he needs more independence. He's like, I was scared, right?
Yeah,
And then,
it's good.
yeah, just like when you hear that, it's like, oh, maybe I'm doing something right too.
Yep. Um, I had one more that I'll go through. Yeah, I thought this was dope. I don't remember where I got this one from at all. Find someone who will sit quietly with you when the world within you is loud. And I think about friends and lovers, whatever. I think either or apply. But as somebody who has had PTSD, battled all the things and all the stuff. I think one of the best pieces of advice I can give people, and everybody handles things differently, but I think that line right there encompasses it all. Is like, don't treat me like I'm a broken toy. Don't treat me like I'm whatever. But sometimes, some days, me too is just the only thing you need. And sometimes you don't even need that. Hang out with me while this thing happens, whatever it is. And I heard that and I was like, yeah, that's appropriate for people who don't know. So if you know somebody in your life that is going through it, I think you just got an instruction manual, a two line instruction manual.
I think that's a great place to sign off.
All right, man. I appreciate you, and we will do this again next week. And I will
Yes, sir.
wake up early in the morning and upload all the 3 episodes we're behind. So,
Perfect. And
yep,
next time, let's try to go live as well.
yep. Let's do it
All right.
later.
Till next week. Later, buddy.